Tour Divide day 39. Getting an earlier start today. Hoping for bigger and better things today. Morning on Tour Divide day 39. Wow. But hello from New Mexico. It is a beautiful, beautiful morning out here in a beautiful place. Our campsite was those little trees over there. Peter's back there, just finishing packing up. I enjoyed a wonderful evening and morning with them. It really strikes me that Tour Divide provides you with the right people at the right time. I think that was true with Rob. That was true with Tyler and Jay and everyone else, and certainly true with Peter. I think yesterday would have been a very, very different day if we hadn't met up, and I'm glad we did. But today I'm going to push to try to get to Abiquiu. It's 90 miles. I think we have one big pass here that ends up being a hike-a-bike. I was going to say at the top, but it may be a hike-a-bike the whole way. It's all mud. And then I hope and think it levels out until after Abiquiu, so I may be able to do it. If not, it'll be another night of wild camping. And I'll get there tomorrow. Well, out on the first climb of the day, all was going well, and then I took a bad line through some puddles back there, and now stuck again. Yesterday, this took about an hour to clean up. Not a chance I'm gonna make it to Abiquiu. Not at this rate. Cleared out the peanut butter mud, got rolling again. Made it about half a mile. And now we get to the fun part. Let's hike a bike up this rock outcropping. Yeah, if I don't slip into the mud. That was close. A mess. Sometimes the only way to avoid this mud is to make your own road. Any normal day, it's great as nothing. But that's all peanut butter mud. That's all peanut butter mud. This is kind of peanut butter mud in the middle. The grass helps float on top, so I'm hike a bike because it's better that than dig in and stir things up. There's the GPS. This is the road I'm supposed to be on. Tour Divide is all about emotions, right? And right now, I can't tell you how stressed I am. I want to make it to Abiquiu. I want to put in some miles. I want to get back above a 70 or 80 mile average for the rest of this trip. But now that it climbs, we got another storm moving in. And shelter in place aside, the minute that sky opens up, these roads are mud again, and I'm not going anywhere. So, man, I just want to ride. Status check. It is now 11 o'clock. We rolled at 8:30, and I just hit 7 miles. So that's 2.5 hours, 7 miles. It's at about 2.5 miles an hour. And the skies are looking worse and worse, and the trail is going up and up. I absolutely have not been drinking enough today. In case you're wondering why, it's fighting for every inch today, and yesterday, and the day before. Man, I guess two good things here. One, sky is clearing up and it's beautiful, so I'm not as worried about the thunderstorm right now. Two, I've been hearing about this section for probably 150 miles, and it sucks, but it's here, and it's almost over. And after that, there's only one other notorious climb that I'm aware of, and that's after Abiquiu. So I don't know how much of this I've got left, but I've got a lot behind me, and once it's done, it may be clear sailing. Maybe, fingers crossed. Tour Divide never disappoints with the views. Made it to the top of the rock garden, and it was probably about 3 minutes ago, real time, that I said not worried about the weather. And there's the clouds, and just felt the first drops. So it's flooded all the way over there. Over there's nearly impassable. Thunder and lightning is coming in fast. I decided to try to push over the summit and found myself in exactly the situation I didn't want to be in, out in the middle of the meadow on top of the summit with lightning and thunder. But I chased through it and made it to the back side, and it's holding off for now, so I may have to shelter in place, but at least I'm over the summit. So that mud bog went pretty quick thanks to a bunch of other riders who blazed a trail. It's kind of been fun today. I've been following some other trails, and it looks like they're relatively fresh. Definitely southbounders from the tracks. So fun to think there's people ahead. I just hauled my bike up over next to those trees. This road is nothing but peanut butter, and pretty glad I've made it this far before storms come in, but I'm literally outrunning them. Well, thank goodness that mudfest finally changed into a real road at this intersection where the end of the parkland is. Now, you all know how Tour Divide works, though, because I'm not going that way. I'm not going that way. I came from that way. Going this way. This seems to be a trail. This is where the GPS says. Single track has turned from flowy and fun to just non-stop rockapalooza. I feel like every one of these is waiting to jump out and tear my sidewall. 1:45 p.m. I've gone 15 miles today. I got 6 hours of daylight left, and I don't know how many miles. So I'm beginning to think I won't make it to Abiquiu. Not for lack of trying, just the trail has been just absurd. This single track, I'm wondering if this is one of the new sections they added. I've heard about them, but it came from the top of the trees on the other side of this gully all the way down, way back there, and then climbing back up again. So it's been slow going down and slow going up. It's been very technical. The other problem I'm having, my phone is at 38%, my GPS is at 50%, and neither of my battery banks are charged. Normally this wouldn't be a big deal because I can charge them on the bike as I ride, but I have to be going over like 7 or 8 miles an hour. But today, my average speed is 5 miles an hour, so I've gotten almost no charging. And if I have to spend another night wild camping, I don't know, could get a little sketchy. I keep hearing over and over from everyone I talk to, oh yeah, right ahead the trail gets easy. Yep, you'll just sail downhill to Abiquiu. And, you know, oh, here we are. So I've been trying to use the screen and maps as little as possible. Got lost twice because of that. I'm not going to claim that this is as tough as the wall. It's not. But the wall, the crazy part of it is a couple hundred yards, and then after that it is still steep uphill. This is the same as that. It's just an ass kicker. Alright, so update, made it up that climb. Now I'm on single track with, you know, a couple hundred feet drop off on one side. It's been rocky, technical. I'm out in the open. Got lightning storm behind me. And I'm on a trail, it just looks like it should have rattlesnakes sunning itself on it, so I'm waiting for one of those any minute now. Yeah, I feel safe. So I'm walking my bike because at this point the trail's steep enough that if I put a foot down to the right, no one's ever going to hear from me again. Fortunately, the lightning's holding off. This trail is just going on forever. I'm pretty dejected. At no point did I ever think when I was booking a room in Abiquiu tonight that it would take me 4 to 5 days to go 100 miles. You know, I was shooting for 80 miles a day. This trail is not easy. Now I think I'm shooting for Hopewell Campground, which was like, I don't know, I think it was like 20 miles from the start. I'm beat to hell. My ankles are hurting, my arms are hurting, my legs, everything. The bike needs a lot of love. But for now, you're probably tired of hearing me complain about this trail, but my tire just went over that little dark spot, which was a rock, which I then just got to listen to bounce all the way down that cliff, all the way down to the trees down below. And that'll mess with your head. And I also have to say that there's been so many washouts, down trees, etc., that yeah, I think if this trail didn't have that drop off and I had my normal mountain bike, I don't think I could clean it. That section over there are parts of it that were about 8 to 10 inches wide between the drop off and the hill. I'm starting to think the same thing about this as Coco claims, where it's not mountain biking. I don't know why it's here. Oh, after more than an hour of clinging to that edge, I got to this little section and said, you know, maybe I'll be able to go for a bike ride. So I hopped on my bike, made it about 10 feet, hit a rock, went off to my right. The bike went down there. I tumbled down to where those shadows are. I'm okay. I lost one of my shoes, but I went and got it. A little banged up on my arm, a little banged up on my shin. Adrenaline is out the moon. But I guess that's justification for walking that section, because if that happened back around that corner, I don't even want to think about it. One of these days, I can't wait to actually get on my bike, pedal it, move forward towards the end. I've spent easily twice as much time pushing my bike today as riding. It's getting really frustrating. Really frustrating. But now, time to clean this up. Time to clean myself up. Get back on that bike. Tour Divide, day, I don't even know. Another day. Well, I honestly don't know how this happened, given that I fell that way. But this shifter lost a piece of something, and now I can squeeze it in, it doesn't come out. So I basically, see, this whole thing is all broken. Cool. So I've got no front brake. I just tried to ride again. Couldn't get a chance to figure out if the brake works or not because I almost immediately hit another stone, went down again. Again, I'm okay. But dear God, I'm done with this day. I just checked. I've got another 14 miles to get to nearest campground. It also looks like that is probably the soonest I could get cell reception to even try to figure this thing out. But again, my phone is down at like 20% and I can't ride fast enough to charge it. I don't know. I miss Colorado. I may have to option for help. So I figured out if I push the brake lever in normally, nothing happens and it doesn't come back out. If I push it in towards the middle of the bike, I think I can catch whatever mechanism inside and I can get my front brake to work. But then I have to kind of push it back out again. But that means if ever I can get off of this single track and onto an actual legitimate real road, I might actually be able to ride. So we'll see. I haven't seen a road like that since 26 hours ago. Sure, because things are going so well, let's throw in stream crossing over jagged rocks. That sounds like a good way to, I was gonna say cap off the day, but day ain't over yet. I try so hard to be positive in all this. I just can't. I've been on my bike, well, I've been with my bike for over 8 hours. I've made it 17 miles. And every time I think the trail is going to get a little better, we get another steep ass hike-a-bike section. Like, I'm done. I'm just done. I'm using up the last of my batteries to try to use my satellite to talk to some friends who are somewhat local, at least in the same state, to see if they can orchestrate something, because I haven't had cell phone signal in 4 days now, and that was for an hour while I was in Del Norte. So it's been 5 days since I've had a real connection, so I can't solve this. Good morning, Tour Divide day 40. I won't lie, I'm in a bit of a predicament. I have to keep this short because I don't have enough battery to tell you everything that's going on. The short thing is I'm going to be heading to Abiquiu as fast as I can. It may be a very long day. I don't know if I'll get there. I may need to call for some help. But we'll see. I've got a plan. If it works, I'll be able to update you later in the day about what went down last night and what the plan was for today and how it's going. So fingers crossed, wish me luck. Here goes, Abiquiu or bust.
So what's the situation here?
All right, so Glenn holding the camera. Thank you for coming up and computers, a car, everything you could need to get on my thing. So I realized yesterday I have 3 problems. The first is electronics. My phone is dead and my GPS is almost dead, and I need those to find out where I'm going and go there. The second is my rain jacket. I accidentally left in a cow pasture about 4 hours down the trail that way. The third is my shift lever is broken and I've got 1 brake for the bike. Now, Glenda, you're here. You've brought battery packs, you've brought computers, you've brought a car with an engine. So we're charging up all my gear. Oh, there goes the engine. Hope you brought gas. So we're charging up all my electronics. So problem 1 is solved. Thank you. Problem 2, you were standing there in a very nice rain jacket, but I'm not sure I'd be able to get back to you. So
That's all right. I could have a jacket at some point that would have done the Tour Divide, so.
Right. And option 3 sounds like probably that mechanic's the best. So, only problem left then is actually getting to Abiquiu, which is still another 70-some miles on a bike with 1 brake. And a guy who doesn't want to descend anyway, and now has to descend with very little braking power. So that could be interesting. But it's early enough now that it should be I should have plenty of time to be able to get in there. Rain being the wild card in terrain. So that's the state. I don't know. Anything else we should add there, Glenn?
Nah, you look great. You're smiling. You're laughing. You're typical Chris.
I am now. I wasn't yesterday afternoon.
Okay.
But you got to see the footage of that. I was not happy. Wow, sunny and the day's looking up. Not only did Glenn come and rescue and give me a battery pack and a rain jacket. Thank you so much, Glenn. The sun is out. I found Peter and the Wounded Warriors I was looking for before. The Warriors have already taken off, but Peter and I are going to ride together, which will be a huge help, given, my brake lever. It'll be a huge peace of mind to have someone around to help if anything goes wrong there. Sun is out, it's getting warm, things are looking up. So, time to go for a bike ride. It's a bright, beautiful day. And down to Abiquiu to get my brake fixed. But I don't know how I get this one fixed. My tail fin rack just snapped in half. So I'll have to rig it up and see what I can do to get to town. But there's no way I'm carrying cargo from here on with this rack. Now you can see the aluminum just snapped. This piece should be there. I don't know how to fix this one. I don't know, between the rack, the brake lever, the incredibly slow pace I've been having. Maybe this is it. Maybe the fatal blow. 600 miles from the end. Alright, quick update. So I've wire tied those, zip tied the pieces back together. That may hold because they kind of lock together. I'm taking all the weight out of the packs, putting it in my backpack, taking other stuff out of those, putting it in the front bags, and then I'll give it a try, putting it all back together. Got some belay straps I think will also help. I don't know, it's a good theory. We'll see. So far we've made it. I think probably about a mile and a half over some really chunky terrain, and it's held up. I don't expect it to last forever, given the the core of it are zip ties, but so far so good. And every mile we get closer to civilization, my life gets easier if I do have to deal with it again.